Hello and welcome. My name is Anna Delman. It is day number 270 of my note writing, and for today, what is enough for you in your spiritual formation? The gifts or the giver when you're in a God-given mess? Now, I'm challenging myself with that today because often the Lord puts us in a position that we do not like where we are. That's me. I would prefer to not have had things removed from my life and having geographical changes in my life. I didn't plan it. I planned my way. God directed my steps. If it was left up to me, I would have chosen completely differently. However, had it been the way I wanted, I would never have experienced the presence of God, the comfort of Him in my life as I've gotten to know Him. And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I would rather have that experience in my life than have had all the things work out the way I wanted them to be, because I have learned that His presence and knowing Him sustaining me in the little bits and the details and being so specific in His care for me, nothing can compare with that. So yesterday we were looking at Job 19, and I'm going to just read that again. And Job was in a very bad situation, as we all know. Then Job answered and said, "How long will you torment me and break me in pieces with words? Then 10 times you have cast reproach upon me. Are you not ashamed to wrong me?" And his accusers, they wronged him in what they were saying about him. And then, when people say things to you, or when you say things about other people, it's the expression of the thoughts, what we're thinking about them. So we may just be saying 1% of what we really think about them, or they may be saying 1% of what they really think about us. And then we know he was in a difficult position. And so as I thought about that, and I thought about my own circumstances, is working on spiritual formation, is he enough of a knowledge of him rather than anything else that may come with the growth and the blessing of the growth that we're experiencing? So I would like you to consider the following. Okay, so in Psalm 37, verses 3 through 5, trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. Now, when I was first saved, I thought, yay, yippee, the desires of my heart are going to be blessed. And there are so many things I prayed for and hoped for, which the Lord never brought to my life. And a friend of mine said, change your heart's desires. Now, I complained that I was praying in faith, and from everything I could see about my life and how well I knew myself, I couldn't understand why what I was praying for wasn't brought to my life, because I was so well fitted for it, and so many people believed I was so well fitted for it. And my friend said, change your heart's desires. And that really offended me, because it made me consider they don't really truly know me, that I need to desire something else. However, what she was referring to was the giver. Am I satisfied with the giver more than anything else? And I want to also take a look at Psalm 20, verses 1 through 4. May the Lord answer you in the day of trouble. May the name of the God of Jacob protect you. May He send you help from the sanctuary and give you support from Zion. May He remember all your offerings and regard with favor your burnt sacrifices. And verse 4. May He grant your heart's desires and fulfill all your plans. Now, as we're praying and asking God, and He doesn't answer all those things or provide those things as I've just shared, but the one thing He does share with you is more of Himself. Isn't that the true answer? Because if the desire of our heart is to know him more, to worship him more and love him more and serve him more, hasn't he met that deep desire which as believers should be our foremost, and the others are lesser? So if we go back to Job and we read the accusations of his friends and his community, no matter what was difficult in his life, he was still looking to God. Sure, he battled, and sure, he struggled before God, but yet he remained steadfast. So what was his sufficiency? Friends, I read it to you yesterday, and I'm going to read it to you again. Job 19, starting at verse 25. I love this. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and at last he will stand upon the earth. And after my skin has been thus destroyed, yet in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see for myself. And my eyes shall behold, and not another. My heart faints within me. Is that the sufficiency of your heart's desires being met? The ultimate in all your heart's desires? If you can say yes to that, and truly say yes to that, then you're on the strong path to spiritual formation, and the Lord has you trusting in him in a way that is a blessing. You are glorifying God. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have moments of struggle. Look at the book of Job. Read it. He struggled. He got angry, and he challenged God. Why was he born? Why wasn't his life ended as he came down below his mother's knees, etc. It's in the text. He challenged God with all of that, but yet, on the flip side of that, he knew who his God was, and he struggled, and God met him there. Are you satisfied with the gifts or the giver? That is the true challenge of meeting your heart's desires. It comes down to gospel, salvation story, and the changes, ongoing changes, and sometimes that is a battle. That is hard, but we've got to stay the course and focus well so that we can glorify him in all the situations in our lives, the good, the bad, and the ugly ones too. So until tomorrow, take care and God bless, and we will talk again. Bye-bye for now.